Happy New Year and welcome to this first 2026 video special from the Full Force, brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Deluxe Treasury Editions. I am Chris McLeod AKA Diagnostik80, and joining me on this special episode is the extremely talented artist Adam Snitches Get Stitches Riches, Irish legend and collaborator on some amazing Total Toy books, Paddy Total Action Lennon, and my awesome used-to-be regular co-host on the Full Force Weekly and host of Articulated Points YouTube channel, Patrick Notpicard Stewart. On this New Year's Day special, we will be looking forward and picking our three most anticipated G.I. Joe related things for 2026. So what is it, Pat?
We can all hear each other, so guess what it is? It's the Full Force New Year's Day special!
Funnily enough, we started recording this in 2025, and we're still here in 2026 trying to get the technical issues sorted out. You would not. I wish I'd been. Well, actually, I have been recording that the whole time. So maybe a blooper might be
for the Patreon subscribers, maybe.
Yeah, I'll just put it out for everyone. Sodom.
Well, you just get to hear me saying WTF over and over.
That was so hilarious.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now for 45 minutes?
Happy 2026, everybody. Starting as we mean to go on here at the Full Force.
What I'm looking forward to in 2026 is everybody being able to hear each other when we're on the Full Force New Year special.
What am I most thankful for? Being able to hear everyone every now and again. Amazing. Okay, right. Hello and welcome, everybody. It's been a couple of weeks since I last saw you, so this is getting far too frequent now. Pat, how are you doing, buddy?
The transmission in the car went, so there's been some unexpected expenses right around the holidays whenever there are other expenses, and it's a great way to end the year.
That is the timing as well. That is rubbish.
Yeah.
So tell us exactly how much it cost. I'm just kidding, don't do that. Well, hopefully you'll get that fixed and sorted soon.
We got it fixed. The car just needed a new car, so.
Fudge. Paddy, how are you? How's your car?
Really good. It's fine, as far as I'm aware. I don't drive. My wife does all the driving, so.
As far as, you don't even.
It's not in the driveway now, so I assumed it worked.
Hopefully it's still working right this second. And Adam, how's your car? I mean, how are you, bud?
My car's doing okay. I mean, it could be better, but it still moves. So, otherwise, it's a new year. I'm kicking it, man.
That's absolutely sucks, Pat. I'm so sorry, mate. But yeah, okay. Already starting as we need to go on, Pat, in 2026. If it
makes you feel any better, getting the new transmission probably still costs less than a single classified figure at GameStop. So. At least we're not getting tons and tons of product delivered at the end of the year. That would have sucked as well, wouldn't it?
That's not happening this year, is it?
Well, it kind of already did happen, didn't it, a couple of months ago, where everything came in at the same time.
It happened for me. My top three for 2025 would be completely different if we were recording today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. Maybe just redo that whole episode. Should we do that?
But it wouldn't make sense to do that because now we're in 2026. This is a whole new year.
True. We're out in the future. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your new top three then, Paddy? For everybody.
Okay, so probably Retro Flint would have to go in there.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, other than the card art, obviously.
Oh, the card art's hideous.
He's so good. I think I was telling you guys, he comes with the correct hand options, so you can do all of the really good Jeff Senior Flint artwork. You can recreate all of that. Yeah, the We Need You and all this sort of stuff. It's great. And then I know it's not really G.I. Joe, I'd probably have to put the Skeletron 6-inch figures in there as well, because I got them actually only the other day, only on Friday, and they're amazing. So and then probably a Frag Viper.
Whatever you.
So we do a little addendum.
Yeah,
and I put those in as honorable mentions for the year. But Retro Flint was surprisingly good, and Skeletron figures they absolutely crushed it.
Just edit out Paddy's parts on the best of and put these parts in, and it'll look like he only had like 2 words to say for the
wearing.
All the conversation after is going to be really weird, like not related in any way, shape, or form. Oh yeah, when the Skeletron figures appeared in the Deke cartoon. What? That's going to be weird. But I'll try and do that. Yeah, okay. Well, we're here. It's New Year's Day. I hope everyone's having a wonderful, whatever day that is. The 1st of January, I guess. I hope everyone's having a good one. And we wish everyone a very happy New Year. So on today's episode, we're going to be checking out our top threes again. But this time, we're looking forward to what may come. Now, this could be things that we are sort of anticipating, like that could be on the cards, and for the most part, stuff we know is coming as well. But there's a bit of a mix in everyone's choices, so we're going to switch up the order of operations from last time. So going first this time will be Pat, and if you could take us through your number 3, please, buddy. Most anticipated G.I. Joe thing of 2026.
Okay, so I haven't been on the weekly for a while, but I've been dying to talk about this. It's the classified Arctic Assault Hiss MTO. That, to me, is a huge thing that I'm looking forward to, partially because of all the discussion that we had during the HasLab for the Hiss tank, because I specifically remember whenever that was a thing, it was an early HasLab, and we talked a lot, not just about the Hiss tank itself, but also about what HasLabs mean and whether or not doing this. I mean, I don't want to use the word kickstart because it's not a Kickstarter, it's a HasLab. But in the same sort of crowdfund feeling, there is that thought of you are funding Hasbro to have a thing so that there could be future things. And I specifically remember saying that I think that it would be cool if eventually we could still get the Crimson Hiss, because I don't think that them doing a HasLab should make it so that you can't have some of the redecos of the Hiss that are popular. And I think because you liked the Arctic one, I think that there's some point in an old video where we were talking about it, and I think that you said that you think it would be cool if in the future we could get the Arctic Assault. Well, not Arctic Assault. You didn't use that word.
I didn't use those words. Yeah. I'd have been on the development
team. If you did.
Oh, if we could get the Arctic Assault Hiss with driver, that would be amazing.
If we could just get the Arctic Assault Hiss as an MTO.
MTO as a made to order.
Amazing. Yeah, but no, exclusive. I'm pretty sure that you did.
Also, it should come with a snow serpent with a different head.
And if they could do it from the month of December the 4th to January the 4th, that would be phenomenal. I didn't say all of that. But
I'm pretty sure you did say, though.
It's my favorite version.
I was a fan of the idea of doing a red one, and I'm pretty sure you said that you really liked the white one that the 25th had done, and that you'd like to see that one done in the future. So
Good
here
memory,
we are.
By the way, that was we did that on it was the Armor video where we talked about the different Hiss tanks.
Okay.
And we also talked about it when the HasLab came out as well. So good memory on that one, Pat. That's crazy.
We definitely talked about it. But I'm looking forward to it because of what it means for future releases of everything. Because honestly, there shouldn't not be a Tiger Force Snowcat.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how it's handled. I want to see it succeed for everybody. It's going to be something that I will just have an eye on. And I don't know, the experience of collecting hasn't been great in recent years of having to hunt things down and the trouble of stuff. But the excitement of watching a new trial of something happening, of a new way of getting something, is going to be fun, in addition to the actual toy. So
yeah, totally, man. I agree with you on that one. I think I'd love the Arctic Hiss. We were talking about the different gun or weapon system that they would have, and we were talking about the racks. If they were to do it, then you'd have like you got to have all of the extra additional elements to it and everything, and they went and did it.
I thought that we even talked about all the extras that are there, and thinking about, hey, if they did a re-release in the future, you could just drop that out to make it cheaper. We've talked about all of that for a long time.
Yeah, I think we were on the development team, weren't we? It sounds like. Right. Did we do this for them? Did we get paid for this? I don't remember this happening. But that absolutely, we had those conversations for sure. Yeah. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about the MTO, like the price and all that kind of stuff, but I'm sure other people will have feelings about this, including our very own Paddy and Adam here. So, Paddy, what are your feelings on the MTO as a format and as a vehicle that they chose for it?
I mean, I think we all expected they were going to reuse the HISS tooling at some point. And, I think even Emily a couple of years ago said they were going to do it. So it's not a surprise. It's a nice choice for the Arctic HISS. It'll probably arrive sometime around the same time that Snowcat will arrive.
Yeah.
I would expect.
Within months,
so that'll
I reckon,
be good.
Yeah.
My one nitpick with it, other than the fact that they've got weird pricing in Europe.
Oh my God, that's awful, isn't it?
It should be €50 cheaper in Europe, guys,
Yeah.
doing a straight currency conversion than it is. Why does it have Arctic Assault written on the side of it? Like, it's just such a weird, like, oh, this is the Arctic Assault HISS, so we've written it on the side. Like, can you think of any other G.I. Joe vehicle where they literally just write the name of what it is on the side of it?
That's a good point. I haven't even really thought about that, but yeah, they're pushing that kind of different name, literally, aren't they? Like, all on there. That's interesting. I didn't even thought about that. Now I'm not going to be able to unsee it.
Generation 2 Optimus Prime.
G2 Prime,
I
guess. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it looks weird. I would have preferred just like a standard, like, here's a number. It's not a 766 or whatever. It's another squadron number or something.
Yeah,
that would have made a bit more sense rather than just
Yeah.
saying, hi guys, we're the Arctic Assault team. Look at our Arctic Assault HISS. Would you like to do an Arctic Assault?
Yeah, and it's also interesting because Arctic Assault means something very different for us, doesn't it? In the in Europe and the UK with the Palatoy era and everything, having the Arctic
Yes.
Assault
Arctic
figure and
Assault
everything.
figure, yeah.
So I wonder if that's them trying to like get the legal side of it tied up.
It's a random Palatoy reference in the same way that the Rattler came with those Red Shadow stickers.
Right, exactly. All these little random Palatoy things. Adam, I know you're chomping at the bit to talk about this, and I think I know what you're going to say in regards to multiple different things. But yeah, take us through the MTO.
Well, the first thing I'll say is spoiler for my number one. There is another vehicle that says its name on the side, so stay tuned for that. But
Hang on, I'm just looking at the list.
yeah, but
oh yeah.
Could be anything.
I'm going to beep that so that it's not spoiled in the.
But, there's a phrase my southern friend uses all the time that I feel like is like a personal shot at me, which is "I love that for you," and so that's kind of how I feel about this thing for everyone. My feeling is if we were doing this the way we did it in the 80s, where you could order driver figures by themselves. Which I don't see any reason why you couldn't, honestly. It's made to order, right? So make as many as people order. So if people want to have a squad of, 20 snow serpents with a different head, let them. If they offered that, I think I'd be all in on this, because then I could get the only part of it that I want, which is the figure. But it's a matter of practicality for me. Like, there's nothing about G.I. Joe in any iteration ever that I don't love, for the record. So, like, do I like it in and of itself? Sure. But, like, I do not have the physical real estate to keep taking these things on every year, let alone repaints of them. And I'd be hard-pressed to imagine who does, honestly. Like, if you were really a true G.I. Joe completionist, like, from, say, 60s to now or 80s to now, impossible. Like, you'd fill an average, like, 4-bedroom home, like, 10 times over. It's just not, go look at like the videos of Air Devon's house if you want an example of this. It's just not feasible at the rate they're doing it. Like,
imagine if she'd continued collecting all the way through to like now with classified and stuff like that. Like, imagine that collection now, just with all the stuff that's come since. After that kind of stopped happening. That's crazy. It would probably be like. Would you argue that in terms of size, at least, it would be more than triple the size?
It'd be getting right up there. Maybe doubling. It'd be close too. I mean, the figures are twice the size, so it's doubling twice as fast. But
yeah.
Not all the international stuff though. She had a lot of that.
That beefed it up. But yeah, man. Like, I have just about every classified release so far, and just the amount of space the packaging is taking up is just astonishing, considering this is a line that's only existed for 6 years. Like, I just, and every time you get one of these, it's like the equivalent of getting like 40 figures size-wise.
Yeah.
So, I'm just looking at this like a game of Tetris at this point. I'm just thinking cubic space. I'm not even thinking about the actual product. Like,
you're dying at the moment for a long, thin block just to come down, slide in the sky, and take out.
So I can clear the 4 lines. Yeah, I'm at the part right now where the music is speeding up because you're about to lose. You know, like I'm about to hit the ceiling of the house. So, you know, is it a cool design? Yes. Is it weird it says Arctic Assault on it? Yes. Is the price a little high, but it's cool? Yes. I hope everyone loves it. I hope it doesn't yellow quickly. You know, enjoy your Arcticus. If someone wants to just sell me the figure by itself, I'm your guy. Hit me up, and that's my thoughts on it.
I would say is that's probably the funniest thing of like in so true in regards to Tetris, how it's speeding up right now and it's getting close to the roof. That is so unbelievably on point.
And
It's
there's
brilliant.
no end in sight, you guys. So
And every friggin' thing they release is that awkward, like Z kind of looking one that's the other way round, and you need the other way round.
That's
so
the Rattler, where you're like, where the f do I put this?
The Rattler's the T-shirt, the cross T-shape, just like plunk.
The one thing I'd say for the Hiss is at least it is sized to fit on a bookshelf, like in a D12 or whatever. Whereas the last couple of years, their HasLabs have been like, screw it, put it, you know, just fit it in wherever. Where you know the Hiss at least was designed to be like, this can fit in a reasonably sized bookcase and be okay. Whereas, you know, with things like the Rattler, you're like, where do I even put this now?
I agree with that totally. I think a lot of people are trying to get real ingenious with it, like trying to hang it from ceilings and do all that kind of stuff, like pose it on its side so it's taking up less sort of like, you know, real estate kind of width wise. I think that is what is happening with a lot of collectors right now, or it's just staying in the box. Because have I opened my Rattler? Have I asked? I haven't even touched the Rattler box for a while, and I want to so desperately open it. But also I will caveat that with I haven't opened Mainframe Wetsuit, all of the retro recent figures, the Snake Armor, the Desert Scorpion, the 2-pack Sergeant Mercer, the Slice and Dice 2-pack, the Ghost Viper. These are all still in their box because I just have not had the time to really do it and get and enjoy it. And also in my mind as well, I'm always wanting to do unboxings, and that takes so much time and energy, and then obviously the effort afterwards to actually edit it all together. And the thought of doing that right now is actually giving me like post-traumatic stress disorder. So I'm just gonna stop talking about it.
Well, and you know,
on the space situation, there's definitely a point where it's got to stop to a degree.
We all talk about this, but like G.I. Joe's not the only thing most of us collect either. You know, the other day I just got 2 HasLab Ecto 1s in the mail. You know how big that damn thing is? Like, so like...
That's nuts. Yeah, I do feel for all of you guys who are collecting multiple lines, because I'm just literally I'm just doing classified and I'm just focusing on that, and you know, great if whatever. But yeah, there is definitely that space issue. Not everyone has it, but everyone seems to want the product. That's the other problem, isn't it? Like that's the crux of it all. People are wanting it and buying it, and they're doing more of it, and it's just. Yeah.
I would like to actually know what sort of figures they're having on that in terms of sales. A tracker on the website would be really nice, just to get an idea of, okay, is it, you know, as popular as the original Hiss? I doubt it is, but is it like even half as popular, a third as popular? It's just to give us a clue as to whether this is something they're going to keep doing.
You know, Hasbro would never give that information up in a situation like this, but that is a really good point. It'd be great to see what the numbers are in relation to other things like other HasLabs and what have you. Yeah, for sure. Mm. In terms of MTO, I do like the idea of, and this is like a thing I talked about, and I did a kind of extra episode, like a news burst thing, where I talked about MTO as like an idea, as like a format, and I could see them doing I think personally it would be probably best for a consumer point kind of facing situation to, if you're going to do MTO, maybe do one or the other in each year, right? Maybe let's not do a HasLab, 2 other MTOs, and so, like, it just gets crazy ridiculous. I'd be happy, and I know some of you would be happy with even less of this, but I'd be happy if they did 2 smaller style MTOs in the kind of vehicles that don't fit in that retail capacity, but also don't fit in that sort of dream HasLab capacity, where I think the MTO could kind of operate in like in that sort of mid-range kind of price point, size, what have you. They're still going to be large vehicles, but it's not going to be your, you know, what's the word? It's not going to be like your Tomahawks or your friggin' whales or your, you know, that kind of thing. It's going to be more, like, I don't know, moccasin or, you know, things like that. Even like CoverGirl's Wolverine, things like that might, you know, Desert Fox, I think would be kind of cool to do in like an MTO where it's not like it's maybe might be
a little bit too big for retail.
Thunder Machine, like things like that, I could see happening in that sort of area, and then like the HasLab could be saved for less frequent, like less often, and maybe more dream size kind of ridiculousness. But again, it still does not fix the problem of space getting less and less, and that never will. I mean, with collectors, when has that ever been? I mean, it's always been a problem because you've always collected, and it's, you know, always been that kind of way. You tend to have to pivot a little bit as you collect, I guess.
What I'd like for them to do actually with it is to take the vehicles that they do at retail, but do the really obscure repaints of those retail vehicles that wouldn't sell at retail. So, you know, you could do something like a Palatoy Vamp, you know, the Panther, which wouldn't be justify a retail release because who the hell cares? Whereas the people who would want one would definitely do an MTO for it, or the Eco Striker, where again, probably wouldn't be justifiable at retail. But if you said, okay, how many of you actually want an Eco Striker? And then I would buy 10 of them, and then nobody else would buy one, and then they'd make it for me.
Just make 10 in the factory for you. I'd be all over an Eco Striker for sure. But again, I know exactly what you mean. Kind of saving it for like the one that's not necessarily going to do crazy at retail and kind of makes sense for sure. I kind of feel like I don't think one has to give, but at some point for the customer, something has to level out, something has to balance, so it's not like too much.
I mean, we can see that what's we can see that what's showing up at Ross, which is all the retro carded stuff, is going straight to Ross. So people have obviously decided that's not a thing they're going to buy, and it ends up on discount.
What about the Vamp? I mean, do you think there's a possibility to do an MTO? Because I'm sorry, like we still haven't gotten the Vamp 2, the Vamp Mark 2, and I could see them doing that again instead of doing the first Vamp, but. We talked many times about how
Panther.
yes, but we talked a lot about how the repaints seem to be what some of the retailers were getting as exclusives, so that the primary vehicle was more in Hasbro's hands, so that if they needed to do another run of them, that wouldn't be stepping on the toes of any retailer. But you've got like the Ferret and the Vamp and some stuff that just, you know, the prices on those in the secondary market are crazy. And I kind of was expecting them to do another run, but here we are, and it's been a long wait on that second Vamp. Like, could they MTO a Vamp reissue?
I think the Vamp 2 actually would be a perfect MTO.
Yeah, I think in terms of reissuing this, that they definitely need to do a Vamp version 1, because we are in a position now where loads of people missed out on that. And it was really, I think they didn't expect it to be as popular as it was going to be, but I think a lot of people wanted the Vamp to be sort of like the centerpiece of their OG 13 sort of kind of setup. Certainly mine. I do love the fact you can have the Vamp and the MMS and then all of the OG 13 crew minus Flash, Zap, and Grand Slam, of course, at the moment. But I mean, we're still on Pat's third choice, so we're gonna move on.
We're recording for 30 minutes and 29 seconds.
Welcome to the Arctic Assault New Year's special,
right,
everyone. Enjoy.
Fire through these. So
Happy New Year, mother. Right. So
actually, it's going to be the new year when we're ready.
Next up, then, is Paddy's top 3 of 2029. Go for it, mate. What's your third?
My third is. So I picked this one last year thinking that Lenny would be a good boy and release it in 2025, but he didn't. And it's Destro and the Despoiler again, Redux Deja Vu edition.
I'll just take what you said in that episode and put it here, mate. You don't have.
Well, actually, no, because I have a complaint. In a year, we got 2 Cobra Commanders, you know, Once a Man and Battle Armor,
and the rest.
And we got another Baroness in the pilot Baroness. Destro's been left out hanging since the first year of the toy line. We haven't got a new Destro figure in 6 years now. So he's well past you getting. We're getting Iron Grenadiers Destro. We have his Iron Grenadiers out there. We have Metalhead out there. You know, where's the boss? And you know, I think they teased me there last year because the spoiler showed up in a couple of Skybound issues, kind of late last year, early this year. So I thought, okay, so it's in the zeitgeist. They're ready. Hasbro have kind of given them told them to start using it on covers and things, and it hasn't come out yet. So I'm hopeful that 2026 is the year of Destro under the spoiler. It's a small vehicle. It's not going to take up an entire shelf in your house, and you know, IG Destro's a great design.
Agreed. Anyone else?
I'm into it. You know, it's we can have a Cobra Civil War, have him go up against Serpentor's Air Chariot. Nice size there. You know, if we get a triple T, maybe be good size match for that too. So yeah, no, I'm all about that. You know, when Classified started, those were the vehicles I was imagining that we would get. Like, that's the kind of stuff I actually wanted. I never in my wildest dreams thought we'd be getting the stuff the size that we have. But much like Black Series, like, you know, you thought, oh, I'll get a land speeder, you know, not like the Death Star. But it seems like that's more what we're getting. So yeah, you know, the despoiler's long overdue. IG Destro is a great design. Let's do it. It's awesome. I want it. Let's go.
Agreed. Pat, same?
Yes, maybe give us a variant head to put on Destro that's that crazy flat blocky one that was at HasCon.
Crichton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crichton for Red Dwarf. Yes.
Yes.
Hell yes, I agree. That would be friggin' amazing.
I would buy two if that was the case.
Yeah, if they did the blocky head, it would be brilliant.
Oh, and Vac Metal or bust, man. We got to have the Vac Metal. I'm tired of all these cast colors and or painted. I want some chrome in here.
Yeah, definitely. Bit of gold chrome would be sweet. Yeah, I that's one I could definitely see happening this year. Nod, nod, wink, wink. Right then, top three for Adam now. Finish us off on the threes. No, actually, no, I'll be finishing us off on the threes. But take us through yours, please.
Yeah, so Classified is too drab, man. We need some neon. So I want more Ninja Force in Classified. We've already got Slice and Dice officially branded. We had previously Nunchuck and Storm Shadow, but they don't have a designation, which means they're probably going to remake them because that's how it is. Night Creeper already came with the head for Ninja Force Night Creeper, so we've already got that tooling sitting around. We got easy repaints on the shelf for Red Ninja, Ginzu, and Orange Slice, and sort of Bushido with a new head too. And Hasbro hasn't met a Snake Eyes they don't like, so you know there's a lot of potential on the plate here. Like, but yeah, I want more Ninja Force in 2026.
And we know Zartan's coming as well, so that's official. So that is, yeah, I'm with you on this one. I want neon. I also want it. I kind of really want them to push the packaging a bit more with the Ninja Force. Like, obviously with Slice and Dice, it's a 2-pack, so they haven't really. You know, it's. I want to see a retro carded Ninja Force figure. Basically, is what I'm getting at. If we have to have, here's a great opportunity. Then, if we have to have Storm Shadow again or Nunchuck again, maybe they could be retro reissued on a retro card back, and then everything else can just come as it has been with like 2-pack scenarios, or you know, Zartan's on his own. Zartan's on his own though, so I know he's a Target exclusive, but I don't know if they would. I mean, they have done kind of retro card back stuff for Target in the past, haven't they? With Marvel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a possibility we could see Tarzan on a sexy card back.
Tarzan?
I would be
Tarzan or Zartan.
Tarzan, not Zartan.
You just said Tarzan.
Like a million times. No, definitely Tarzan. I want to see Ninja Force Tarzan. If that's okay.
Could be a repaint of
basically it would just be Tarzan, but he'd be like painted like the Blue Man Group.
It'll be Zartan just naked, basically.
Bright blue.
God, that's hilarious. Yeah, so Ninja Force Tarzan I want really bad. More of that, please. Any other comments on that?
Yes,
and then
to
after
all
they
of
fulfill
that.
all these dreams, Shadow Ninjas.
Yes.
Yes to all of that. I'm surprised. I expect now that we've had Paintball Snake Eyes this year, next year's Snake Eyes is probably going to be Ninja Force Snake Eyes. I mean, that seems like it would be the next one to do.
Yeah, so that they can save the best for last. Yes.
That's upset.
Yeah. They can leave the best Snake Eyes three pronged staff Snake Eyes version 3 for the end.
Yeah.
And then he would be the last figure. He would be like figure 1000. Because Snake Eyes was 00. You would have version 3 as 1000, and that'll be the end of the line.
Like when the end of the line happens and we haven't had that Snake Eyes, Pat, how upset are you going to be?
I will be furious if that happens. That actually, yes, there actually would.
Pat will drive to Boston.
Oh my god!
You know, they kind of had the reverse problem with Ninja Force in the 25th era, which I don't know if you can see them back here, but like, yeah, they like skipped out on a couple right at the end there, but they did make version 3 Snake Eyes, so now we're just turning the tables.
I want them to do version 3 Snake Eyes. I just always love fighting with Pat over who the best Snake Eyes is. Anyway, yeah, great shout on that one, Ninja Force. I'm with you on that 100%. Also, I want them to incorporate the old features so it really limits their articulation. That would be fantastic. I'm just kidding on that one. Okay, so all right, my number 3 then, I guess. Let's get stuck into that. Unless, Pat, did I miss you out on that whole Ninja Force conversation?
No, I just said it, gave a general. I agree. So yeah,
okay, that's good.
Totally agree on the retro packaging Storm Shadow. That's a really good call. I think
that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean that's what you would have to do with Nunchuck, but I don't think that we even need to do Nunchuck. But that's it.
I agree with that too. Actually, I think Nunchuck is fine. Like he's great. Like he fits in that line. I don't think you need to package him any differently. But yeah, a reissue of that Storm Shadow would be great, especially with better articulation in the lower legs. Because
just do the whole thing again. Honestly, I could go for a retro slice as well because I want the stars on him.
Oh yeah, that is that is cool. Okay, cool. Stars and slice. What? Okay, so Chris's top 3. My third is more classified and reaction plus in a circle international homages. So obviously we've been getting some good stuff. We've had in the classified series, obviously we've had Tiger Force Outback, which was amazing. We had Glenda in the Dragonfly. We had Quarrel in the Night Force 2-pack, most recently, I believe, probably the most recent one in classified. So we are getting these kind of like cheeky little international homages dropped in here and there. Obviously, as Paddy mentioned earlier, the sticker sheet on the Rattler having red shadow logos and what have you as well, kind of fun. All that kind of stuff. But I would love them to ramp that up a little bit. I'd love to get a few more kind of characters and figures. And if they have to be in sort of 2-packs because no one else cares about them, then that's fine. With another figure that everyone wants, fine, let's do that. But I definitely want to see a bit more in the kind of classified sphere. But again, I'm not going to say we haven't been getting it because we have been getting the odd one here and there. And more of that please and thank you. In terms of Reaction Plus, we haven't got any international yet, have we? With Reaction Plus, so that's
although you and me do have an international homage from Roll Call, I believe.
Yes, which is upstairs. Damn it. That's a beauty. The Arctic red laser. That's really, really cool. So something like that would be really cool in an official capacity. But again, I'm not that worried about getting that one because it's upstairs. I definitely think kind of delving into that realm would be really cool. And it's definitely something that Super 7 have done, obviously, in loads of other iterations, especially in their Ultimates. So we're getting loads of international homage in the Ultimates. Mortal, friggin' the Baroness and Destro is Red Laser as Red Jackal and Red Knock Baroness. So we've had like definitely loads of stuff kicking off in the Ultimates, which I think is probably getting phased out a little bit with G.I. Joe. We'll probably only see that going forward in like the exclusive capacity. Go check out my interview with Brian Flynn, which should be up before this episode, technically. But yeah, I want to see more of those international homages. And I know, and it doesn't even have to be UK. It doesn't have to be Palatoy. I know everyone's like, oh, you just want Palatoy. No, I'm a fan of like India, Russia, when it comes to the figures, by the way. Fun School, South American, all the different South American iterations, all that stuff. I want to see all of it sort of like somehow homaged and incorporated over time. Thoughts?
Agreed. I
Yes,
would
to
really
all
like
that
to see
again.
more of it. I've picked up all the classifieds so far that were international figures. I think for me, if I was going to pick one international figure to do next, it would probably be Eagle. I would like to see Eagle in the classified line because, in my opinion, like as long as the figure looks good, like is anybody bothered by the fact that they don't recognize the character? I mean,
It
you have
seems
like
that way.
it does seem that way, but
It
then you
does
have like
seem-
the firefighter that was awesome. Like there's a bunch of those figures that can exist. Like, you know, the sniper that they did, the paratrooper that they've done. Eagle just looks like he's a really good kitted out SAS member. So
You could just call him 60th Special Forces Operator and just have him be Eagle, and people would still buy it.
yeah, I think that would be a good one to make. And he's one of the ones that kind of I was hoping would make it into the line when the club was doing the FSS and they were releasing some of those Action Force characters, and he didn't. So I would like to see him in a G.I. Joe packaging in some capacity. For Reaction Plus, maybe Torak, because eventually we're probably going to get a Destro. So they could do the Torak that was the later one that was just like the 92 Destro with a different head, with the Torak head. I think that would be a really cool international homage. Like get really weird with it and give us some of that stuff.
And Super 7 love to get weird with it, don't they? They love to really kind of deep cut the crap out of it.
Yeah.
I know, Adam, I know you hate international everything. You hate everything outside of Florida. But
What?
I'm joking. But what are your thoughts
My dad's
on
from New
seeing...
Zealand, you guys. Yeah, I think that you're more likely to see this in Reaction Plus just because Super 7 is very much, about that. G.I. Joe at its core, though, I think just is a very American-centric brand. I mean, I would love to have access to Hasbro's foreign sales numbers on Classified and kind of see what's doing numbers where, because I think that would really dictate a lot.
Well,
of
I can tell you they're in the absolute dumpster because it went to Hasbro Pulse exclusive.
Well, so I don't know, and it's one of those things where it's like, if you repaint a figure and you call it by its American name, does that affect it? But then you guys are still satiated knowing that ultimately it is what you wanted it to be. Like, there's weird loopholes to that stuff. But I think for your casual fan, they see a repainted Scarlet and they're like, who the hell's Coral? So it's like, I think there's that element. But, for some of the more interesting ones, like obviously all the like UK Tiger Force stuff, like that's a no-brainer. So I don't know. I think it really is it's a case by case basis. If it's remarkably different and it's really like eye catching, then sure, why not? But I think it's just a pick and choose, and obviously you can't get to everything. But like Canary Ann or something, like sure, why not? Like
great shout.
Yeah.
Redeco Lady J, new head sculpt, done and dusted, covered in mustard, literally, because she's yellow. That's amazing. Yeah, I like that a lot. And again, Canary Ann is one that does come up a lot when I talk about this stuff too, and I feel like is a bit of a no-brainer because you could just really do Lady J in yellow, call it Lady J, all that stuff. It's just a redeco of Lady J, and obviously everyone knows what the homage is, sort of thing. Yeah, Canary Force,
made to order International Heroes multi-pack of Canary, Canary, Lady J, and an Eagle. And,
Red Jackal, and like that would be so dope. With a
again, it wouldn't work at retail, but there'd be enough people to do like surely there's a couple of thousand fans out there that would want that, like a 4-pack.
With a red repainted snake armor as well.
Yeah,
that'd be so dope. Cool. All right. Well, we've got that sorted out. I'll send the email and make sure that gets made next time. Okay. Swinging back to Pat now for his number 2.
My number
that's going to happen every time I say number 2s. Sorry. Go on, mate.
Is Reaction Plus Cold Slither continues?
Question mark.
Yes, that's what I'm looking forward to and hoping that it does happen. I remember whenever we were at Joe Fest, and Brian said that there would be more Cold Slither I wasn't expecting it to be Zartan, and another Zartan.
And don't forget the fourth Zartan.
Yeah, don't forget the other Zartan.
I think you're forgetting Tarzan as well.
Yeah, Tarzan.
Right.
Too.
I definitely wasn't expecting it to be Tarzan.
That was a massive bait and switch.
That was a deep cut.
I should have put some boss fight Tarzan figures in here now. I'm gonna do that and take a picture of them.
Yeah,
just send them to you guys.
You need to get Eric Ridlon to do you a Ninja Force Tarzan.
There you go. Done. I will. Sorry, Pat. Go on.
Yeah, no. So Cold Slither, I would just like to have the other members of it. To me, where the reaction stuff is right now, where they're very cartoon centric, I would personally like to see them kind of break away from that and do some things that actually feel more like a vintage G.I. Joe figure. But since they are doing things so cartoon centric, yeah, I would like to have some other members of the Cold Slither band. Give us some of that.
Awesome.
And also you can repaint them to have like zebra stripe pants to match the zebra striped Tarzan and things like that. Like you could get multiple uses out of the mold to do them in the same color schemes as the Zartan's already been done in.
Can we make sure we call him Tarzan going forward, by the way? Because I think that's important. Yeah, I agree with that, Pat. I think the rest of the band needs to be incorporated. And the thing with Super 7 is you could see them doing like, some cool accessories with each figure. Maybe like build up like, a band and all the gear and all that kind of stuff. But then maybe, would you be averse? This is probably where it gets a bit tricky because we've already got 25 Tarzans. But like a box set of the whole band, do you think that's kind of past it now a little bit?
What I felt before is that they could do about, like I think whenever Zartan was coming out, I mentioned, they could do the whole band and just include one that doesn't color change in that set. And I still think that that's an option, but they've definitely made it so that it's kind of going to be difficult to sell it as a band.
Yeah.
But also I can't really see a drum kit happening unless it's a part of a larger set.
Yeah.
So it is in a weird spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of what I want to see from them, because I'm not getting the feeling quite of the original G.I. Joe toy line from the Reaction Plus stuff yet. The best stuff, as we talked about before, are the things that were very cartoon that didn't need to be quite like the original toys. So I just kind of put in Cold Slither here because I was looking forward to it when he announced it, and that kind of hasn't gone away.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, they could always do like the rest of the figures together as a set and just leave Tarzan out.
Yeah.
I can't stop saying that now. But again, that would be it would be weird without the main kind of like main singer.
The main guy. Yeah. And then it would be like, well, if you missed out on him, do you really want to? Because invariably there'd be people that wouldn't want to order it because they missed him. That they just started collecting G.I. Joe this week, and it's
interesting. I personally think we'll probably see members of the band in different waves, and I think they'll just bite the bullet with Buzzer and just have him come with a ton of drum equipment, or maybe split the drum kit up with the other figures just to kind of make it an annoying build a figure sort of aspect. I don't know. It's a possibility, isn't it? I don't know how they would do that, honestly. But I think we'll see them. I just think we'll see them separated.
I know what they would do, since they were doing Ultimates, where if you ordered all of them, you got like a free weapon set. So you would just have it as like an accessory pack.
That's not a bad.
Order the wave with Cold Slither. Like it's a wave with the 3 members or whatever, and then the 4th figure is the accessory pack with the drum kit.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
Yeah, that's a good way.
Adam, do you want to see the band back together?
Naturally. If they wanted to re-release a Zartan with the band, one way I think they could do that wouldn't be too crazy would be, they already did the Big Bad release where he's in the version 1 colors, but he's a Cold Slither mold. I could see them doing that, but in Ninja Force colors, but he's still the Cold Slither tooling. Because if you look at it that way, it's still pretty similar to the original. The only thing that would really change is he'd have neon green pants instead of yellow. So I feel like that's, it's close enough, but it would.
Would you not give him a mohawk and do that as well?
Keep the orange hair, because they'll probably do an actual Ninja Force Zartan at some point anyway. But
yeah, just
like they're probably going to do a version 1 one day, and I'm hoping they do, because then it'll kill the value of the Big Bad Toy Store one, and I can get it. But but yeah, I definitely think that we need the rest of them. I'm surprised they didn't just do Wave 3 as all 4 band members. Like, it was strange that we got Zartan by himself in a wave with other figures. And as far as the drum set goes, it'd be scaled down, but like, they really only need like the 2 toms and the 1 bass drum to kind of give the impression. Like, you don't really have to build out a whole kit.
We need some cymbals.
Sure, but
like, you do need a stool. Yeah. He's got to sit on something.
Yeah, he's got to sit on something.
Stand behind it.
Come on,
down there, standing up. This is weird.
Play some drum standing.
I know how to do it. I know how to fix everything. Band. Just give him a little drum pad machine, and that's it. That's all you need. Just a tiny little square with lots of little squares on it. He's gone digital. Done. Perfect. Easy.
Yeah, that actually would work. Yeah.
And then he could just be like Linkin Park style on stage. Just do 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 do. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, why am I reacting to something I've already posted in our group? Yeah, cool. So that is Cold Slither. Love it. And yeah, and like any reaction kind of completing is kind of like always. I'm kind of down for that. I want to complete these little subgroups and sets and collections and what have you. So yeah, nice one on that one, Pat. Now, Paddy, your number 2, please. It's quite a broad one.
So my number 2, it is, and it is just a generic more Skybound, please, which obviously we know is going to happen. We're now 2 years into Skybound. Strange as it may seem, Transformers issue 25 dropped this month. It's been going very well. I've liked how they've integrated some of the wackier elements of G.I. Joe into the main story. Things like Pythona, makes sense in this universe. The fact that the Transformers are interacting with the G.I. Joes, again, makes sense in this universe because, it's been built from the ground up. I wouldn't mind seeing some more kind of Skybound characters show up in the figure as in the figures and so on. We've obviously had the O-ring of the characters from Void Rivals. Wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of that sort of thing happen and feed into the toy line. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I was a fan of IDW's take on Transformers and G.I. Joe as well, but I do think over the length of the time they had that license, eventually they got like too complex and too dumb and too difficult to follow and too many reboots. So hopefully Skybound can keep this kind of chugging along for another couple of years where they don't feel the need to be like, okay, we need to reboot it now because sales have fallen off. I do think these kind of licensed comics have a shelf life where after like 50, 60 issues, it's really difficult to kind of keep the universes going. But that means we still have at least another couple of years before it inevitably gets to bed. And until then, I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there, I like what you're putting down. I will say issue 27 came out this week for Transformers, by the way. So that's been, they're churning those issues out. I agree with you on how I think Skybound have dealt with this kind of situation. And I think they've dealt with it better than IDW did. So the whole Revolution thing I thought was a bit rushed. It was a bit everything at once, and it was also a bit
naff.
Just it lacked quality in lots of different areas. Whereas Skybound, I feel like with the Energon universe in particular, the Real American Hero has been great. By the way, I love the Real American Hero anyway, but that has been such a just such a lovely kind of surprise as that's been like churning out some fantastic issues. Energon universe has really taken me by surprise, and I was excited about it. But the fact that it's just been so quality this entire time and is continuing to do multiple prints of random ass issues, like we're still getting second and third and fourth printings of like issue like 16 and 14 and 7 and stuff like that. And you just like, it's crazy that they're continuing this like popular, like I genuinely did not think it was going to be that popular from day one, and I certainly didn't expect it to continue to be this popular, going right up to this issue of everything that's currently out. I think, yeah, they've handled it so well. With General Flag's just been in like the last issue, and he's like very interesting character, and how he's being like highlighted in these different, like talking to each different faction, and how you can see him manipulating and playing the board basically, like the playing chess with them all. It's been really cool, and obviously having Mask kind of showing up as well has been really exciting too. So I'm with you on this, mate. And the fact that there's the blimmin' the fact that they're talking about an animated series for this as well is just, forget about it. That should be number one for me on this one, like most anticipated, but it won't be out till 2027.
It probably won't be out in 26. Yeah.
But yeah, agreed on this one. What about you guys in terms of the comics in general? What are your feelings? It doesn't not necessarily an Energon universe, but just in general with Skybound. Have you been impressed with what they've done so far? Start with you, Adam. Since you're quite close to the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit behind in my reading, but I've been keeping up with Real American Hero, and I'm still enjoying it like I have since childhood. Nothing new to say there. I think I'm pretty on record. I'm not a Transformers guy, so Void Rivals does nothing for me. But I think
even with Paddy Total being the main character.
Yeah. If you go back and look at any of my like top lists, I've always been really consistent that the number one thing I want is new designs, new characters, anything to breathe new life into the brand. So anything like that that's showing up in the comics, that's the stuff I want to see in toy form. And as far as the comics go, if you're not talking about how this relates to toys, I love that for you. For any of the stuff that I don't read.
One thing I was surprised by is that the female Crimson Guard, retro Crimson Guard that's coming out, which certain people on this podcast have had a hand in, doesn't come with a Laura head, which I think is something that really could have been a real gimme. It's like you're leaving money on the table there, Hasbro. If you gave that female CG a Laura head as like an alternate head, just instead of just having the helmeted head, that's something that would have been a nice bit of brand kind of building that would have been nice to see. Yeah,
I agree on that one for sure. I think I would actually probably say you're likely to see something in the future with that, because it's not the last time we see a female Crimson Guard in some way, shape, or form. I don't think. But Pat, you could see the moment your heart was
mold again.
Yeah. Pat, you could see the moment your heart was torn out of your body when Adam mentioned that he hates Transformers with all of his heart.
Yeah, every time it makes me a little sad. I don't know how that happened. The world has failed you, Adam, and I am sorry.
It's funny. I think Adam is on the younger end of the scale of the people on this podcast.
He is,
and I think it's because Adam, you missed out on Transformers being a thing when you were a child. Transformers was dead and gone for you, essentially.
But he's not that far America, from my brother.
Whereas it lasted a bit longer for me in Europe. So I became a Transformers fan because it was still going in Europe after it had gone in the States. And you were kind of a more similar age to me than maybe Pat. And I think that's why you never got into Transformers.
No, I think I just never got into it because it sucks, but
first of all, that's wrong.
What age are you again, Adam? If I may ask?
Yeah.
What age are you again?
40.
Yeah, you are. Actually, no, that would make more sense.
You were a post G1 baby.
Yeah, but if we're
a G2 kid.
If we're going by this though, like I could have been into Beast Wars. I mean, I definitely remember that being talked about at school and stuff. I just, just wasn't my jam.
Yeah, so sad. So sad. The world has failed you. I'm sorry. The marketers of the world should apologize to you for not getting you into Transformers.
It's just too convoluted. It needed to be presented more like Power Rangers. I needed to feel something for the human characters and have the robot be a background element, not the primary character. Did you
not even like Beast Wars, Adam?
Aesthetically, I appreciate it, but yeah, no.
Annie likes Beast Wars. She says hi, by the way.
Yes, hi to Annie. She would make a great Beast Wars toy.
Hi to Annie. Wouldn't
you? Put the headphones on, Annie. I have something to say to her.
Ask her what her top 3 is.
What are your top 3s for 2026?
Okay.
What are your top threes from 26? She said she loved Order. Order was one of her favorite.
Oh yeah,
figures.
that makes sense.
And she's looking forward to Tarzan.
Yes, she can't wait for Ninja
Yes.
Force Tarzan. I keep saying Tarzan instead of Zartan. Right, are you happy? Or do you want to stay here for a bit? She's staying here for a bit.
But I'm not surprisingly behind in Skybound. So we talked about it very early on. I think part of my problem is that I really have trouble getting into the comics when I know that there are so many comics that I've missed that I really need to just go back and, pick up all the Devil's Dues that I missed there at the end of Devil's Due.
You missed Devil's Due issues?
No, you don't.
Some of the ending ones, yeah, I did. It was hard. I had a hard time there.
You're just a tad behind, Pat.
Just a little bit, yeah.
17 years behind on that one.
Yeah,
I missed out on Devil's Due entirely. I missed out on Devil's Due entirely because they started with Devil's Due here, and then they realized that they didn't have the license to distribute their comics in Europe. So Devil's Due lasted all about 6 issues and then stopped for the European people. And I never got into it again.
Wow. Wowzers.
Yeah, so I think I read the first like 4 6-issue miniseries, and that was it.
You guys, it's 2026 as we're saying this. So go to your comic store in like a week and pick up Disavowed #3 from Devil's Due, featuring my cover.
There you go.
Nice.
Good plug there, Adam, as well.
Yeah.
Kate says hi, by the way, as well. Everyone says hi.
Hello.
Yeah, everyone's in the basement now. It's a full-on family basement scenario. Yeah, cool. So Skybound, brilliant. In terms of the animated series that they've kind of been talking about, what's the word? I suppose that sort of like pitch to get it on some sort of channel at the moment. It's likely it's probably going to go to Amazon, but is that something that excites you, even though you're not maybe keeping up with the comics? And is it something that you would watch if you haven't kept up with the comics, Pat?
Oh, I would definitely watch it even if I haven't kept up with the comics. It will just drive me crazy that there will be things happening and I'll have to look up, oh, did that happen in the comics? I'm in rough shape. Like, honestly, the next comic that I want to finish is all of because I didn't have them and it was hard to get them for me, was the UK issues of Transformers from Marvel.
Bloody hell, that's even further away.
Yeah, there's I need to go back to like Superman #1.
89.
I missed out on Superman #1, and I have all my issues.
Pat's like, who is this Joker character? I've never heard of him before.
Pat just rolled up for this recording to 2026 and his brother's DeLorean, and he's like, "Where am I?"
Pat's got Detective Comics #1 to get into first before he gets any further. That is.
I hope this timely comics becomes something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Anyway, Pat's
what do you mean? There's a second Human Torch.
Pat's got all those little cigarette mini comics to read. The ones that came in cigarette packets back in like the 20s or whatever.
I got a good feeling about these Siegel and Schuster kids. I think they're gonna make it.
Anyway, amazing stuff. Yeah, look, I will say honorable mention to looking forward to an animated series with featuring Transformers and G.I. Joe. I think that's going to be amazing. But that won't be until like 2029 or whatever. So we've got time on that one.
And then what happened to Invincible? What happened to it? Where the first season's animated really well, and then they cut the budget in like half, and then it's basically just a PowerPoint slideshow for later seasons.
Although it is in season like 11, I want to say, which is insanity. Was it something like that? It's done a lot of seasons already. I might have exaggerated. It might be like 6 or something like that, but there's a lot of seasons for it already. So I think that's also quite promising because even I know Invincible was an original comic, but G.I. Joe and Transformers having this little like bit of history behind it, you never know, that could drive it a little bit too. So anyway, that's Skybound. Thank you, Paddy. Adam, your number 2, please.
My number 2 is probably inevitable, and it is Classified Globulus. Obviously we've already got Nemesis Enforcer / Immortal. We've already got Pythona. Royal Guard is on the way. So it seems like finally, for the first time in almost 40 years, it's going to happen. We're going to get a new Globulus figure. I feel really good about it this time around. And I'm very excited to see how it's executed. If you just look at how way over the top deluxe the other 3 Cobra-La classified figures have been, I have very high, lofty expectations for this figure. So Lenny, don't let me down. I want to see the coiled snake tail inside the splitting orb floating ball. I want to see the time worm. I want an alternate head with a leaking goo eye. I want everything.
The time worm. I can't. Yeah. I didn't even dawn on me that we'd probably get a mini time worm as well, and it has to come off the. Off the little stabby thing, so that you can stick the stabby thing in the open eye. Definitely.
I want the claw hand with some slime. I mean, I want everything. So I feel really, really excited about this figure. I am curious to see how they're going to package something of that size.
Does it answer all your questions?
Yes.
Something of that size.
Yes. But yeah, I just, I don't have a lot of, great insight to share other than I think it's going to be awesome. I feel like it's very likely to happen, and I can't wait to see it.
I think it's a fair bet. We don't have any kind of like even unofficial information regarding that particular figure, but I think it's got to be. It's one of those things that they've just done every other
also,
figure.
If it's like if it's like a PulseCon exclusive, you probably actually won't hear much about it in advance.
Yeah, well, no PulseCon anymore, Paddy.
So retailers really.
Yeah, no more PulseCon anymore. So, but yeah,
keeping up.
any other exclusive wise or Pulse exclusive, that's very true actually. Yeah. Although we did know about the Royal Guard in advance, just saying, and Pythona, and Nemesis Immortal, and Once a Man Cobra Commander. Actually, I don't think we knew about. But yeah, it's one of those ones where I do think it's got to be soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2026, honestly, Adam. But it could also be 2027, 2028. 2029,
or maybe we'll
be 2030.
We'll be in a desperate spoiler territory where you're still asking for it next year.
Yeah, you can do what Paddy did.
I'm still asking for it from 25th. If you remember, there was concept art for all of those figures, and the only ones we ended up with were Pythona and Nemesis. So I feel like much like we were saying about Ninja Force before, it's like they pick and choose which sub team they're going to complete at any given time. But we're so close.
Yeah, definitely. No, good shout, Pat. Any conversation on Globulus?
Oh yeah, I'm more looking forward to I would want a reaction one, but we'll talk about that I guess later.
Why? Okay. Brilliant. Okay, so I think that's on to mine now. Yeah. Okay, my number 2 for 2026 is a confusing one. So it's one that is basically it's a question. And that is classified HasLab? Question mark. So what does it mean? Like, first of all, I will say that I am always looking forward to what they pull out of the bag for these kind of like events and kind of situations. And with HasLab and the MTO sort of situation, you kind of wonder, where does that leave HasLab? Are we looking at a new sort of thing where, like I said before, are they going to be putting sort of those on the fence sort of vehicles in that sort of MTO bracket, and are we going to get something more ridiculous in HasLab territory? Not, and like I said, not that helps the space conundrum, of course, but is that something we can look forward to in 2026? Are we going to see something that's absolutely ridiculous and massive and dream levels? My personal feeling, or my personal what I would want to see, and I know you're all going to disagree with this, and it's fine, we can all have our different opinions on things, is a Tomahawk, aka an Eagle Hawk. I want to see this in classified, and I know it's stupid, I know it's massive, I know it's going to be like stupid size, but that is what I want when it comes to classified, more than any other big vehicle. Like, your whale gets talked about a lot. Your whale specifically gets talked about a lot. And things like I mean, people are even talking about a Terradrome, which I just don't see that ever happening for classified. Neither do I. And in terms of like a full Terradrome, like, and people are saying, what about a segment of it? And I'm like, you're saying that you would want a segment of a Terradrome, which would be a fortune as well. Like, that would be so expensive, even a segment of it, to buy multiples to create a full one. I mean, that to me is kind of insanity when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't think a classified Tomahawk Eaglehawk type situation would be too out there. And I'm talking a ram to fit in the back, so it roll out of the little the little drop down, so a ram could fit in it. I know already we're in stupid size territory. Obviously the side panels, I would want sliding doors like the cartoon, or one sliding door, or whatever would work in terms of the engineering. And I'd also want things like, the access into the pilot section, and in that little section in between where they sit and where the pilots and the co-pilot is, I'd have like Lifeline's medical gear, like, and Doc's medical gear, like the stretcher could fit up there, and all of the different bits and pieces they come with could be stored inside. And with that, I'd also have a Tiger Force Lifeline that came with it in the tiers, because it'd be a redeco of Lifeline. And it would obviously be cool because it would make sense on multiple levels. Lifeline was often featured with the Tomahawk in the Sunbow cartoon and what have you. It's a rescue sort of, it's a drop-off and rescue sort of kind of vehicle. So it's definitely one of those things where you could see Lifeline operating out of. And to have like that would be really cool. And of course, you'd have the foldable propellers, just like the 25th or the modern era version. And then what else would I have? Removable engine segments. I'd have all of the cool little details of the light up area in the cockpit, and also the lights would be amazing because you'd have the semi-translucent sort of cockpit with the colorful elements that would really light up in the lights. I don't know. I think it would be amazing personally. And the working winch. What do you guys think? Is that too ridiculous? Adam, I'm asking you first, because is that too ridiculous for you?
Well, if it came with the white Chinese restaurant noodles dripping off the propellers like in Cobra-La, shoots on it, that'd be cool with that. But
who thought it was getting shut down by a salad? Sorry,
let's give this whirly bird a twirl. But but yeah, I the usual thoughts. Not for me, too big. Don't know where to put it. I will say this as far as the MTO discussion versus HasLab. MTO is a complete gamble for Hasbro. They have to, whenever they account for this, they're not saying we're only going to make it if we hit this threshold. They're just saying we're going to make it period up to this order period. So they have to treat it like we're only going to sell 10 of these. And so, obviously, like, because of that,
there is a minimum order quantity.
Yeah.
But is it disclosed to us?
There is a minimum order quantity. We just don't know what it is.
Well,
they would tell us. They would just say we haven't. They would just say
there's an internal quantity that they have to hit.
Sure. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, all of the risk aversion has to come by way of a HasLab or retail. Like, the tooling already has to exist. So I don't think you're ever going to see anything substantially new as an MTO. So the only way you're going to get something of that scale is through a HasLab, I would suspect. I think it would fund. Lift Ticket's a good figure. Obviously, you could throw in a few more.
This is HasLab, by the way.
HasLab.
Yeah.
I think you could throw in
so I wasn't sure if you were thinking I was talking this in the MTO. I was just talking about the whole MTO HasLab sort of like battle between them kind of thing.
I just felt like that was worth mentioning because I think people are probably imagining that there's going to be all this made-to-order stuff in the future that they haven't seen before, and I think that's very unlikely. I think that's more repaints and additions. But yes, as far as the HasLab goes, I think this is a pretty likely HasLab.
No, you're going to get the HasLabs repainted in it.
Yeah.
Like it's.
But I mean, as far as like vehicles that I think could work as a HasLab, I think this is certainly one. And I think the way it's assembled, you could probably break it down better than some of the others. So that helps. And obviously there's a ton of air related characters that have not been made in classified yet that could be good pack-ins. So, again, not for me necessarily, but I think this would work. I think it would fund. I think people would like it.
Yeah, there you go. Confirmed, right? Brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
It's happening. Pat,
Nose to tail, it's probably not that different. If you think of the original toys, the front end to the back end, how different is it really than the Dragonfly? You know, the Dragonfly spent some of its space with the gunner and the pilot being, you know, front and back, whereas this one is next to each other. So it would definitely be a lot wider. Those rotors are going to take up a lot more space than what the Dragonfly does.
Yeah.
But I don't think that as far as size goes, it's that outlandish considering the fact that they've already done the Dragonfly. It would be a lot of more pieces. I think it would have to be more expensive. I also think that if you're going to do it, you've got to be able to fit a version 1 like 3 3/4 vamp on the back ramp, so that there's almost a feeling like, hey, maybe this thing could be converted for a crazy 3 3/4 inch gigantic helicopter as well, because that would be fun.
I love the fact, obviously, that during the development process with Skeletron and we're doing the whole RoboSkull Mark II, that one of the conversations we had early on was multiple scale kind of options. And I think that was just such a nice feeling to be able to get both scales within the same vehicle just by changing the seat out. And, you know, like you do that and like you kind of keep it this kind of like perfect balance between both kind of scales. And with a RoboSkull, you've probably got a little bit more sort of like opportunity to do that, whereas with a 6-inch sort of Eagle Hawk, let's call it, that is going to dwarf a 3 3/4 figure. But again, if they could do some sort of like opportunity where you could maybe somehow switch out some of the seating and stuff like that, then man, that would be insane. But my God, imagine the size of it compared to a 4-inch figure. It'd be bonkers.
Oh, it would be ridiculous. Yeah.
But they just make it really small.
To be honest,
it would probably be realistically
enormous.
Though.
I don't need it.
Yeah. Oh well, I want that, so that's happening. And like I said, I'll send the email to make sure they make that next year. Right, just kidding. We're back to we're up to our number ones now, and we're back with Pat. Take us through your number one of the most anticipated of 2026, please, sir.
My number one, and I alluded to it earlier, is Reaction G.I. Joe the movie continues. Globulus, please, because
spoiler.
It's one of the things I am waiting on the most out of Super 7, because Globulus's tail in the vintage line, it wasn't great, and it's frustrating to try to even pose him, to be honest, like as a toy, not just to get him to stand properly on a shelf, but even to just pose him so that he looks like he's slithering along and interacting with the other toys is difficult. It's not great. So I really am curious what their solution to that may be. I would hope that they don't just do it all over again, because that would be terrible. But I would like maybe something that is articulated or is just like it looked inside the Toy Fair catalog and the vehicle insert catalog, where you could see that it was just like that. Yeah, okay, Adam's holding up his custom. Yeah, something more akin to that. Yeah. So I definitely think that there's an opportunity to do Globulus and do him right, but I would like to see more of the movie stuff finished. Maybe a Chuckles with a white shirt. Just do more G.I. Joe the movie.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm down with that. Adam, I know you've got thoughts on Globulus.
I've got thoughts on all of this. I think it's exactly you're going to be getting a repeat of this topic momentarily out of me. So yes, I love it. I want all of it. I don't, and when I say all of it, I want everything. I want Young Nobleman, Cobra Commander. I want Cobra-La Citizens. I want play sets. Everything. If it
you want the Path of Esteem, you want the Web of Remembrance to tell the tale.
Yes.
You want all of this
I want
stuff.
the big clam that Cobra Commander is in.
The sticky clam.
Yeah, the jail, I guess that is.
I want a 6-foot tall Statue of Liberty that scales with my figures. Plastic molded fireworks.
I want Snake Eyes to grab hold of a trouble bubble lid, spin, flip round, and sit in it. That's what I want to see. Can we get that, please?
Yeah, originally when Reaction Plus started, I was looking at it more as like something to fill holes in my existing collection. But now that they have kind of created their own lane with it and really like leaned heavily into trying to be on model with the animation, just remake the entire whole movie. I want every single character exactly how they appear on screen. So yeah, I'm right there with Pat. Give me all of it. I want everything.
With you on that too, actually. And also I think Globulus at any level, I do think I think it's a kind of inevitable that we'll see him in both Reaction Plus and Classified. And the way things are going, wouldn't be surprised if we see them roughly around the same time as they come out, because we've had that sort of with Pythona a little bit.
I was going to say
the Royal Guard.
2025 is the year of Cold Slither, so
yeah, Cold Slither, absolutely. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I think we'll probably see him in both capacities, both formats, fairly soonish.
Isn't it funny to think it's been 38 years since the movie and we're all just talking about, oh, it's so inevitable. This is the year. It's like, really, what indication do you have after 38 years? But like, my
inevitability comes from what they're currently doing, though, not from what we've been waiting for the last.
No, I would have thought that too. But I mean, I remember in 2008 when Nemesis Immortal came out, thinking, and we came packaged with Falcon. I was like, oh, surely the rest of them are right on the way, and like they just weren't. It just didn't happen. Like Pythona eventually came by way of the club, like a decade after that. But like. It just, and so same time this way, it's like, I'd like to think everybody's coming, but we shall see.
Brian said that he wanted to stay in that space. Once he got into the movie, he would like to stay in that space.
Brian Flynn has said so.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. I'm with you on that one, Pat. I think we're all in agreement on that. Love a little bit of Globulus in his flying testicle. Right. Who's next? Paddy is next with your number one even. Sorry, no, number one run now.
Yeah. This is a bit of shameless self-promotion. And not because we need to sell books, partly because we need to sell books, but also because I'm actually excited for you guys to see what we have seen. I've seen things you wouldn't believe. Red Shadow bases, concept art, a Red Shadow version of the whale. What else have I seen? I've seen new versions of Baron Ironblood that you've never even heard of. I have seen an O-ring version of Eagle that was planned. Tons of stuff. And I really want you guys to see it as well.
This is a good plug.
Yeah. Q1 of 2026. We'll see it then. I know you guys have seen a few pages. I know you guys have seen a few pages that I've shared with you, but there's so much more stuff, and you're going to be kicking yourselves that Palatoy went out of business in 1984 because what they had planned for 1985 was going to be unreal. So yeah, a real shame, but some exciting stuff for people to see and stuff on behalf by people doing customs and stuff for particularly the G.I. Joe repaints that were planned that didn't happen. I think you guys will be surprised by how much of that there was going to be. Red Shadow Zartan or Tarzan was one of them that we've seen mocked up. So a lot of exciting stuff for you guys to see. Yes,
so
Tarzan.
Just to
be exciting for you guys to see that. Yeah.
Just to kind of make clear, Paddy is talking about the Total Action Force Volume 3, which is just right around the corner. Cannot wait for this, mate. And like again, wow, there's a lot in that I definitely haven't seen any of those things you just described. So I'm going to be like fingering that book. Anyway, what about you? What about you guys? You excited for Pat? I can see Pat's loins gurgling.
Yeah, this is kind of bread and butter territory for me. I definitely am looking forward to now hearing Paddy talk about it. Forget the rest of my list. This is the thing to look forward to. Forget all that stuff. No, I really will be digging into this and am eager to see more of it. I don't know. There's an element for me of Action Force. It's really not something that would have affected me since I lived in the United States, but the moment where it transitions over to G.I. Joe and the G.I. Joe theme and all of the Red Shadows stuff goes away, I don't know. It's sad to me because I really liked everything that they had going and the theme was good. And I would have loved to have seen at least a couple of years more of that before it transitioned over to G.I. Joe or kind of meshed with it. Or maybe to have had a few more of those releases trickle out as the G.I. Joe stuff was also introduced. But I understand, marketing wise, how that would be difficult. And so they didn't go that route. But for me, it's a little bit of a tragedy and a loss whenever I found out about it in the early 90s. I just really liked it. So I'm eager to see what may have been on the table.
When you brought up Red Shadow Zartan, all I can think of in my mind now is, how on Red Laser, the top of his helmet, how he has the little like black blob with the white skull and crossbones. I'm imagining that is like the shape of Zartan's eye makeup, and then his eyes are the skull and crossbones, and then his hood is red.
Oh,
how sick would that be, right?
Already,
that's probably not what it is, but imagine it.
If that doesn't exist in the custom, I think anyone watching this will probably have made that in about 10 seconds, as you've just said it, because that is such a great idea.
As soon as he said it, that's all I could think about. But yeah, of course, I'm with Pat. It's funny. You could release the coolest figure ever, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but it could be like a hunk of shit and it's unreleased. I'm like, whoa, so yeah, I'm all about unreleased. So there's just something about that lore. That's a good marketing technique. Hasbro should just have a whole year of product they don't release, and then 10 years later we'll all buy it. But yeah, I'm all about that. Can't wait to see it. All your other books have been very high quality. I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the Total Action Force, or just the Total series in general has been phenomenal. And yeah, cannot wait for that. Could you just send us the images? That'd be a lot quicker for us.
That'd be good.
Just do that. While Paddy's been saying all these things, I've got nothing to put on screen because you'll have to wait for the book, guys.
You've seen some of it, but you'll see more in early on in 2026.
Fantastic. Okay, then. Well, that is Paddy's number one, and that's a belter of a number one, by the way. Adam, next, buddy. You're up next with your number one for 2026. What are you most excited for, please?
So I am going to pretty much piggyback right off of what Pat said. I want more Reaction plus G.I. Joe the movie, but specifically, I want the Broadcast Energy Transmitter, which is the other vehicle that says its name on the side, like the Arctic Assault. Super 7, I think, got a little overambitious trying with the mothership right out of the gate before the Reaction Plus line had kicked off.
Maybe.
And previous to that, I believe the only vehicle we really saw in the Reaction line was the Arctic Rescue Sled. But I think if they want to take another foray into vehicles, this is a great one to do. They're already deep in the weeds with movie stuff. We've already got all the Arctic gear figures coming. I feel like this would be a great way to include a bunch of those.
Yeah.
But really, the BET is the linchpin of the entire movie. It's what Cobra's trying to steal. It's what Cobra-La needs to shoot the spores into orbit. It's what G.I. Joe is trying to protect. The whole thing is, it's what causes the break-in that ultimately injured 3 good men. So everything in the movie really revolves around this vehicle. It's a MacGuffin device, but it's a fairly simple design if you really look at it. And like I said, great potential for pack-in figures, not overly ambitious size-wise. So, and the best part is they could have me illustrate the box art. So, yeah, that is my number one with a bullet for this year. Of course, like Pat said, I want everything from the movie, but specifically, I want that.
Yeah, BET long. That has been one that I'm not even going to say is inevitable, because we've been waiting for a BET of some description, and it's never ever really been addressed or touched on or anything. Have you guys even ever seen any sort of internal plans or concepts or anything for something like that? Exactly. So it's like, unless in Total Action Force Volume 3 there's a Red Shadows version.
Yeah, the UK explicit BET.
We should tell people that's what's coming in Volume 3, just so they get it. No, I'm with you on that. I think the BET definitely needs to be done and I think Reaction is the place to do it. 100%. And also, how cool would it be to have like the little computer kind of boards going into, sticking them in the little. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Great, great little secondary potential, and obviously you can move the solar panel part up and down, and
it could come with mainframe and dial tone in their Arctic gear as well. How dope would that be?
You get a Duke with a bullet ripped in his sleeve.
It could transform into Optimus Prime.
No, 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 no. I feel like the BET is really in Super 7's wheelhouse too, because you've got so much potential for, like, you could do a glow in the dark solar panel on top, or it could come with like an electrified Serpentor figure, you know, like that's in like clear blue or something. Like, you know, it's got so many of those like weird quirks that I feel like right.
It can have those sounds. It's got a little sound chip in there, so that
I wish.
I do wonder how they could do a BET and plus it up, because for me, the BET's always been something from the movie that's been very skippable. I look at it and it's like, that's going to take up a lot of real estate. It's not something that is a vehicle so much as it is a device that has the ability to move so that it can be positioned in different places. You know, it's not like G.I. Joe's coming in on the BET. You know, they're not going into battle on it. It's not something that I see getting a lot of action as much as it is almost like the gantry from the Defiant, where, yeah, it's a vehicle, but it's also more of a play set. But I don't know what sort of play features you could put into the BET. It would definitely have to have the computer boards capable of coming out, just so that it would have features other than being, you know, looking like it does, and you can fit a figure in it. Foot pegs across it so that
for
you
sure
can stand characters in various spots. But
lights,
like, would it need to have a light? Would the top of it need to light up so that it would do something? Because then you're kind of in a territory where it's not going to look like a vintage G.I. Joe thing at all, but it kind of feels like it needs to offer something.
I would probably have that solar board just be cast in like glow in the dark plastic, and then have some of the panels painted so that, you know, something like that. I don't, Brian, don't get scared when you listen to this. This is a very simple tooling. It's very cheap to make. It's very easy. Everyone's going to buy it.
Okay.
Don't listen to any of this ambitious stuff about light, sounds. Like,
yeah, you don't need all that when it turns into Optimus Prime anyway. Everybody's going to buy it.
Yeah, here's
the most expensive piece would be the box art by Adam Richards.
The BET that we all want. This, yeah. Anyway,
that's because you didn't tab yours in the correct way, Adam.
Good. It's a piece.
Oh, I have mine right in the other room, right in the other room right now. I could go get it.
Sure, mine is fine, Adam.
Okay, yeah, I do agree though. I think the BET would be freaking cool, and like, yeah, I suppose you could sort of give it a tank alt mode, maybe, Pat, to kind of satiate that.
I do think that maybe there could be some planning to make something else out of part of the tooling for the BET, because we talked about that before as well. Like, is there something else that you could do with it? And I think if they really raked their brains or looked around, yeah, there's probably something else you could figure out, or you could have it come apart. And I don't know. It could be just something very simple, though. Like, part of me is also just imagining from the underside it just being very, very hollow, with, you know, the sides just kind of go on, and then the top, and very few pieces. Get it to be mostly hollow so that it fits in a small box for shipping, and kind of expands out as you click it together, and be done with it, and just make one that looks good but is very low cost. That's probably the correct way of doing it.
Like, if they have to scale down the Thunder Tank for this, if they have to make it into a carry case, even if it has to be a Transformer, I don't care. Just get me that BET in 2026.
We're done. Again, I'll send the email. We'll get that made. That is a joke, by the way.
Except for Wheelie. You know, that's the Transformer it turns into, is Wheelie.
Could you imagine? That would be that. Yeah, then it'd sell like wands. Right. That's brilliant. I am going to do my number one now, just to lols. Now, I did an episode with Travis of A Toy Kind of Mood very recently, where we discussed our kind of most anticipated of 2026. So I'm just going to, I kind of like made it a little bit different for this particular episode. So, you know, we weren't covering the same ground. But when I got to it, I realized I couldn't have anything else, because I've been talking about this particular figure ever since the start of the world, and that is the Hydro Viper. And the classified Hydro Viper, which is name only revealed, obviously is coming. We've got the listing and everything as well. I could not be more excited for anything else, genuinely. the Hydra Viper is one of those figures for me, easily my favorite Cobra enemy faction figure of all time. I just think it's the coolest, most interesting backstory, loads of cool, fun stuff on the file card about how they're experimented on, and you know, all the crazy different things that you read in that file card. The design of the figure is beautiful. The artwork from, I believe, Earl Norham on the card art, it's phenomenal. And it's just one of those things that, like, you know, the features on the figure, the removable helmet, you know, all of the cool stuff that comes with the actual animal companion, the Devil Ray. There's just so much about that figure that I love with all my heart. And the color, the deco, all of it is just phenomenal. So when Classified revealed they were going to be doing this in the line, yeah, no brainer. But also, what is this, the 5th, going into the 6th year of the Classified series? To get the Hydra Viper now is like, it's sacrilegious that we haven't had it earlier. But I'm also quite excited that it's coming now, because I feel like they've managed to find and get over some issues in the line early on. So maybe we're going to get to a point where this is going to be like a lot unique figure. They may have kind of hopefully fixed the backpack issue by then. I still am finding backpack issues with my figures, and most of it's reused tooling, and that's where the problems lie. And some of the newer figures don't have the same issues necessarily. So I'm hoping that the Hydra Viper doesn't kind of suffer similar sort of loose backpack issues. That said, I don't know why I'm highlighting, you know, negatives on this one. For me, I am just genuinely excited to see the sculpt, the features, what have you. It's a single figure, so it's just mainline, and it will be coming with the Devil Ray. But it's not going to be like Desert Scorpion deluxe levels. But I don't think it necessarily needs to be. I think this is going to be one of those. I think this is going to be a sellout, personally, and I think people are going to love it. And I can't wait to see it, genuinely. So that is my number one most anticipated thing of 2026. It's the Hydro Viper. Paddy, thoughts on the Hydro Viper?
Yeah, I can't wait for him to run that lovely old Earl Norm art through the shittiest AI filter imaginable for the box art.
Thankfully, it's not retro carded, so we'll be all right, I think, on that one.
It's a good choice, and I'm getting my favorite Cobra character, the Night Viper, next year. So,
oh yeah, that's a beauty as well. Yeah, and what about you, Pat, on this one? Are you a Hydra Viper fan?
I do love the Hydra Viper. I would like the card art shows his spear gun attaching to his lower leg, which the figure would not be able to. The original figure would not be able to stand with it there. But to me, I still think that they should have made it so that it could have done that, because he's swimming anyway, so he doesn't need to have it, have the ability to stand in that moment. So yeah, I would like to see if they could do that, to have like the spear gun attached to his leg.
That'd be cool.
I do think that there's an opportunity to really, a lot of the things that I've liked about Classified have been the helmet sculpts. Yeah. And I would really like to see what they do with him, because he's a weird one where it almost looks organic, but of course it isn't. And the colors on him, I think, actually an opportunity of making it a little darker, having that black vest on him.
Oh yeah, from like was that like the catalog version, basically?
Yeah. And the card art as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to really explore things. It's almost interesting that, the webbed hand was like such a unique thing on the original figure, but now, that we've had so many multiple hands and multiple poses of hands, that won't feel as unique when given to him, even if it's the same. But I wonder if there's a different pose that it could be in that would make it look weird, or, should he have both hands and you just choose what kind you want, like, two webbed hands and two just regular fingers, and then choose what you like.
I think I could see them two webbed hands and two weird hands. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of opportunity here for sure.
Oh yeah, I think alternate hands makes a lot of sense for sure. I agree with you on that one, and I'd be surprised if there wasn't some sort of switch out kind of alternate hand vibe going on there with that particular figure. And Adam, Hydro Viper.
Yeah, I love Hydro Viper. Some of the G.I. Joes that captured my imagination the most as a kid were the ones that felt like the card art showed something that way oversold what the figure was able to deliver on, because the details just didn't translate, and obviously like there was deco limitations and stuff, and so I feel like this is the area where Classified really gets to shine, because you've got a larger scale, more detailed sculpts, more detailed deco. And I feel like you can really bring a lot of those things to life that were reflected in the art that maybe, the toy fell short of. So I'm definitely excited about this one. And as far as the webbed hands, a way to make them interesting, I think, would be to cast them in a semi-translucent plastic and then paint over them so that the webbed parts in between have light show through a little bit, like on a real fish or whatever.
Sweet.
So yeah, but I think it's just things like that. I think if they just go wild with the detail and the deco on this figure, it's going to be a home run. And I'm also glad that it's not a deluxe figure with Pet, that it's just a standard figure, because obviously space reasons, cost reasons, you can army build easier, etc. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really hot seller. I think this will be one of the first ones gone from that wave.
Oh yeah, easily. And the fact that he comes with the little devil ray as well, like I'm really excited to see what they do with that. Like it's an interesting one, because is it articulated? Are they going to do that? Are they going to put articulation on it somewhere? Is it going to be like, is it just going to be a little rubbery sort of like creature that that just is like a bit of a
the tail's just gonna
yeah, the tail's just going like that. I don't know, we'll have to see, I guess, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what this entails, and that is my most anticipated for 2026. And we want to hear what you guys think as well of our most anticipated, but also what are you looking for, all of the viewers out there? What are you looking forward to the most in 2026? Let us know in the comments, and we will ignore it and never read them ever anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference, does it? Just kidding. Get your comments in, please, and thank you. Tell us how crazy we are for wanting the things that we want. And yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. Thank you for joining me for yet another New Year's Day special. And now it's what, the 27th of January already? We've been recording so long. Sorry, this is late out. No, I hope you guys have a wonderful 2026 as well. Thank you for joining me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Anyway,
That's it.
That's it.
Bye.
Enjoy your new
Peace
year.
out. See ya.
See you next year, kids.
That's it for this New Year's Day special. Thank you very much to my awesome co-host. See you on the next one. And everyone, Happy New Year. After 3, you know what to do. It's full force. 1, 2, 3.
Full force.
And then Paddy's a bit late because of the delay.
It's the time difference.
Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.